Hello guys, and welcome to another Nintendo Direct prediction video. And by the time that this video is uploaded, the Direct should be announced now. So yeah, I wanted to do some predictions, because there's a lot of things that we still don't know about 2023, like a lot of games that still need updates, or various game announcements. And yeah, there's like a lot to talk about here. So Anton is joining me here in the video,
Hey
and
everyone.
we're going to go through some things that we think are likely to happen in the Direct, some things that are somewhat likely that we're not too confident about, but definitely have a good chance of being in the Direct, and then some things that aren't really likely but have a slight chance due to different circumstances and different rumors and things like that going around. So let's go ahead and get started with some of our likely
hmm
predictions that things probably will happen. And the first one is Advance Wars 1+2 Shadow Drop. So yeah, with that, Advance Wars, if you didn't know about the situation already for those watching, I feel like it's like it basically got delayed a year
It got
ago.
delayed due to world events that
Yeah,
occurred, so they decided to push it back. And with that, the game obviously didn't release on its intended date in April. I think it was April 22nd that it was supposed to release.
yeah, it was sometime
Um,
in April.
so yeah, or April 24th. It was one of those days. And yeah, never released. And the game was kind of just sent to the Shadow Realm, and since then it's stayed there ever since. And we don't know when it's actually going to be releasing on the Switch. But I'm pretty sure that since it's been a year since they have um, pretty
So
much delayed it from, I
yeah,
think there's a chance that we could see it pop up.
yeah, Advance Wars is a very weird situation because this doesn't really happen often with a lot of Nintendo games. It has happened before, and I think it has happened with another Advance Wars game, like 20 years ago, but it's really not like a situation that usually happens with Nintendo games. And recently, around the time I've been recording this video, there were some leaks and rumors kind of spreading from like retail stores and Walmart employees that the game is actually planned to release very soon. I'm seeing February 10th in some sources and different things. So apparently this is just going to get a shadow drop in the Direct, which would be really interesting. It wouldn't be the first time something like this has happened since 3D All-Stars released only a few days after that Mario Direct in
Mhm.
2020. So
Yeah, and
I
some other games have had like some digital stuff from Nintendo has had some pretty soon releases. I'm trying to think of
yeah,
some that were just like available now. I think I was probably with like some of the online stuff. Like I think Tetris 99 was like available now or
yeah,
something.
there was a
Some
couple
of those
Kirby
games.
spin-offs as well.
Yeah, like Super Kirby Clash, wasn't that also like um or maybe it was around actually no, that might have been a little afterwards. But it's, the idea is that like Nintendo isn't necessarily it's not unusual for them to release or shadow drop a game. So
Yeah.
I'd say it's possible. I'd
Yeah,
say it's a possibility. I would expect them to say like in 10 days it'll be like in retail stores.
yeah, and
I think that's more likely. And pre-order now. Or can you still pre-order
I'm
on
not sure.
eShop?
I'm not sure if you can. It might be like a pre-order thing where there's not a set date.
Like
Um,
to be determined or something.
yeah, considering that the direct, well, it might be like a few days before, so it might be like a few days, after the direct. I'm not sure, but we'll just have to see. But I do think it will be very soon. If it's not a shadow drop, I would say it's probably gonna have a March or April release, or even late February. Actually,
Yeah.
late February, actually, I just thought about that. Kirby is happening, so probably like March or April is
I say like
most
early
like.
March should probably be a good idea for them to do it.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I think that would be a good idea. I don't think they want people to wait too long after waiting such a long time for it. Especially for people
yeah,
who have actually like pre-ordered the game like a year ago. So I think as the sooner they release it, the better, and they can get that off of their release schedule and stuff. And you know what's funny? I have like a lanyard thing that I picked up a few years ago at like at a game swap, and it has Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Super Mario Party Superstars, and then it has Advance Wars
yeah. Because
1+2.
Advance Wars was originally supposed to release in December 2021, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah, and they delayed it to like the worst time.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, like Animal Crossing got the opposite thing where it released at the best time.
yeah. But moving on, I know we were talking about Advance Wars for a little bit, but another thing that I would say is pretty likely is Wave 4 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. I don't think we're gonna get like a release right after the direct, but I would say maybe like a few weeks.
Like what they did
Yeah,
before, like what they did last time. Although that's the thing. When they did the holiday stuff, it was September, and then they released everything December, right? So there's a bit of a time gap there, but with this time, I think it's going to be like they're going to actually
yeah,
give us a date, and they're going to showcase. I'm pretty sure I'd say all of the courses. I mean,
yeah. I
why
think it would.
wouldn't they?
I think it would probably be like Wave 1 to where it's like a month later. It might not even be that. It
Yeah.
might be like a few weeks, like sometime in late February, early March. But we'll have to see. But I think we'll get something with that since Nintendo seems to be promoting it a lot. And the next thing is Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Wave 3 of the DLC. I think
Hmm.
that's pretty likely as well since it's been
Yeah.
since October since we got the last wave.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's very likely. Um, yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with because they've kind of been doing interesting stuff with the extra content, and it's been handled pretty well. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what they do. Maybe they add more features. Like last time, I know that just for everyone, they added like I think a party system feature thing where you could save your parties, right?
Yeah, yeah, I
I think they
remember when
added
they
that,
did that.
right? So
Yeah,
they could add something like special, like another extra thing that isn't part of the DLC, but just an update in general. So
yeah. So they're planning on adding a new hero and then more challenges. Is basically the description that we got so far. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the new hero and the new hero quests that they will add. Because I did like,
yeah,
yeah, I did like the hero that they added last time. It's kind of similar to the artificial blade, like that concept from Xenoblade 2. So I think it was pretty cool with Eno and everything. So I'm hoping they do something like I think they'll probably have a hero along the lines of like a character from Xenoblade 1. Obviously like not a character straight up, but like a character
yeah,
based on Xenoblade 1.
like some sort of mechanic or idea from that game. That'd be
Yeah.
really cool to see.
And
But yeah,
yeah, so next up is more information about Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and that is Baccalaure's epilogue, which was actually already leaked on the back of the box for Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe.
yeah,
That actually that kind of lines up with the direct, like with the direct and everything. That definitely
that
makes
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah,
I know
that
today they did talk about Kirby a little bit with the mini games. They did
yeah.
talk about that stuff with the trailer that they released. Um,
Yeah,
so.
and the thing is, like, as of the recording of this video, that is
Mhm.
what they've shown. So I feel like it makes a lot of sense to have like the Magalore's epilogue in the direct and everything. 'Cause that's like the one thing about that game that they haven't shown off yet.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, we'll just have to see. And I think that's pretty likely. But the final likely thing that we're pretty confident about seeing here is more information about Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, it's coming out in less than 100 days, and Nintendo has made a few tweets about it recently. So I feel like it's definitely pretty likely that we'll get a chunk of information about Tears of the Kingdom. And I think we might even get an announcement for like an extra direct on this game. Kind of like how they
To
did with
me,
Animal Crossing.
I think it's a little unlikely to see a direct. Like, as much as I'd like to see one, Nintendo's kind of been doing a game-specific direct 100, no, I was gonna say 100 days, a month before a game releases. They've
Yeah,
always
that's
kind of
true.
done that as a pattern. So, like, if you look at Animal Crossing, Splatoon, Xenoblade Chronicles, it's something that they've done
Oh
consistently.
yeah,
Even Mario
even
Maker.
Mario Maker, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say probably not. I'd say they might just show us some stuff about the game.
Yeah, the only thing
But
is,
yeah,
the only thing is that Zelda seems to be a little different a lot of the time. Because like with, I feel like Nintendo's two big, flagship series is Zelda and 3D Mario. That seems to be their two like main series that they probably put the most effort into. So it might be slightly different. I'm not sure. But yeah, they might still do like the month thing there, but yeah, I'm not sure because we still barely know anything about the game, and I'm not sure if like 5 to like 10 minutes of a part of the direct and everything would be enough to showcase new information about this game.
yeah, I don't know. I think they're gonna wait a bit more for the big direct because it just some patterns of what they've been doing, right? So
Yeah.
that's what I see personally. Again, it might not be the case, but I don't know. I personally think that that's how we're gonna see it, and they're just gonna talk a little bit about it. And I mean, who even knows with this game? The amount of information we've even got isn't the most, anyways. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
So the next thing is, or the next kind of category here is games that are somewhat likely that I definitely expect to see in this direct. Like, I mean, obviously, not all of these are going to happen, but I feel like like at least one of these things or a few of these things will show up in the direct, and I think it's definitely possible due to like certain circumstances, like some of the rumors and different things we've been hearing. But I'm not like entirely confident on all of these because sometimes these can be announced at like other places
Yeah,
as well.
and even like with certain rumors, like you hear a rumor and then it's like completely fake or nothing came of it, right? I remember even
Yeah,
watching some videos a year ago and they're like, oh, it's definitely gonna happen. Then you look and you're just like, you were half right, but the other part was not right. So, you know, like you kind of look through that stuff, just other people's videos and what they're talking about. And, but yeah, yeah, should we get started with the somewhat likely?
yeah. So
Um,
the first thing we have here is a new 2D Mario game. So a new 2D Mario game, I mean, even though it's been like leaked by like um sources that aren't very credible, I think it makes a lot of sense to happen since it's been a long time since the last like full 2D Mario game. I know technically
yeah.
some people count the Mario Maker games or Super Mario Run as 2D Mario games, but the last like full original 2D Mario game was over 10 years ago. And another thing is that the Mario movie is releasing and everything, and it would make a lot of sense to release like a Mario game alongside that movie. Not necessarily a spin-off, but like a 2D Mario game kind of makes sense to release alongside
Yeah,
that
I
movie.
think so too. I think some sort of just something new from Mario. It's been like a while since we got anything major from Mario, except for Mario Strikers, I guess would be the
And then
last one, right?
also Sparks of Hope.
Yeah, but I wouldn't really count that. That's more Ubisoft thing, and the amount of like Mario stuff isn't really as much as it's a more rapid emphasized game, right? So
Yeah.
I would say that really Battle League was our last thing, but something new and really interesting from the Mario franchise. It's been a while, right? So
Yeah.
I think the last thing I really remember as being like a big deal was Bowser's Fury, right? Wasn't that the
Yeah.
last big major kind of Mario game?
Yeah, that was
That
2 years ago now. Hard
yeah,
to
and
believe.
what else was 2021 as well? I what else in that year? Because I don't think there was there anything major for the end of 2021 that had Mario?
I know they had
Mario Party
yeah,
actually, Mario
Mario
Party.
Party and then Mario Golf, but Yeah, we haven't gotten much
Yeah,
from Mario in a while, excluding a lot of the spin-offs. But I feel like
yeah,
a new 2D Mario game is definitely possible and would make a lot of sense. And the next
yeah,
thing that I think is somewhat likely is more information on Pikmin 4. And I feel like it might be likely that we'll at least get like a trailer for it or something, is
yeah.
because
I think so. Some
apparently,
sort of information about it.
yeah, I feel like Nintendo probably won't have a direct in June due to E3 not happening, or, well, Nintendo not doing E3 this year. So Nintendo, well, might show some things that they normally wouldn't show in a February Direct, so there is a possibility that we could see Pikmin 4.
Yeah, it really depends when the release of that game would be. To me, that game, like Nintendo kind of follows a certain schedule with their games. Like usually the sports games always are in June. They're big
Yeah,
flagship Mario games. They're always around October. Pokemon's November. Usually some of the smaller stuff is around like April.
yeah,
So yeah, you can kind of see like a pattern with that stuff, and I'd say that with Pikmin, I feel like if like a Mario sports game or something like that isn't like the June game, or the 2D Mario isn't the June game, Pikmin seems like a good summer game.
yeah, that
Even
makes a
like a
lot of sense.
fall,
Yeah,
like I would say anywhere in the summer. Like that's probably the most likely, either the beginning of the summer or towards the end of the summer. I think those are the two release windows I could see for the game. That really
yeah.
would make sense. So I'd say if they're gonna put the game around that time, they probably need to talk about it soon. But they might even do its own like direct about it before the game releases. So who even knows?
Yeah, and another thing that's somewhat likely, I mean, I feel like some people may feel like this is unlikely, but a Metroid Prime 4 teaser, considering that
Yeah,
another, like, again, like, Nintendo isn't doing E3 this year, so it would make sense that they would show something for Metroid Prime 4, since it's been in development, like, since the restart happened was 4 years ago now. I know
yeah.
Arlo recently uploaded that video, so, I think it is a possibility we could see like a teaser, like kind of like
Yeah, I
how
would say
Zelda
like
was.
like Smash Bros. That's what I see. Something like Smash Bros. Where they
Yeah, or
show,
Smash
okay, it's
Bros.
coming
Yeah,
towards the end of the year, like something like that. At least like some slight amount of information, or a release date or something, or like a release like window, like like a 2023, or like holiday 2023, or something like that. I could see happening. Again, who even knows where that game is in terms of development? We might not even see it for a while, but I'd say that the amount of time it's been in development, and who even knows where they were in development, when they made that video so that they're restarting, that couldn't,
yeah,
it depends, right? But I think it's likely that we could see something, it's not totally, it's,
yeah,
I know there's also the rumors a while ago about Metroid Prime HD. That's also something we could see, in its place. But who really knows? I feel like with the
yeah.
whole Metroid Prime thing,
If
the
they,
rumors have been nonstop for such a long time that like I really don't even know anymore.
yeah, if they
So
do anything Metroid at all, it will be either like some smaller Metroid game, like a re-release or something, and then they'll mention Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime 4 is going smoothly in development, or something like that, and then,
that's what I think will probably happen. We could see something like, oh, Metroid Prime HD, even though, we've been hearing about these rumors for like the last like 4 years. And then they're like, oh yeah, this guy, he's credible. He said it's they're gonna announce it, in every single Nintendo Direct and every single slight presentation like the Game Awards. So yeah, I don't even know what's going on with Metroid, and
yeah.
it's kind of getting annoying to hear, oh yeah, guys, don't worry, it's gonna be announced
This is
soon, and
totally the
it's like,
year that we'll get Metroid
yeah,
Prime
yeah, yeah,
Trilogy.
totally the year. I remember watching a video last year, and they're like, oh yeah, 100%, we're gonna get the Donkey Kong and then the Metroid Prime
I've been hearing,
HD
yeah,
remake, and
I've been
I'm like,
hearing, I've been hearing the Metroid Prime Trilogy rumors since like 2018. It's been quite a while.
yeah.
But
I know it's so annoying.
yeah, but next up is another thing that I think is somewhat likely, and that's a new Goodfeel game. Since it's been since 2019 since their last game, and I think their last games were
Or their last Nintendo game, because they do other stuff as well.
yeah, but I feel like their last like major I feel like most of the major things that they've been doing is with Nintendo. Because they do minor, they
Yeah.
even have minor projects for Nintendo as well, like the 3DS ports of some of
Like
their
it seems that
games.
they have. I'm looking right now. It seems they have some untitled samurai action video game in development or something. So they are working on something. But you
Yeah,
never know. They could release something else. Like they were working on Yoshi's Crafted World and Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn around the same time. So who even really knows
yeah,
what they could be planning? But I hope it's something something different and be not a Yoshi game, because I think we've probably had enough Yoshi games for a while.
yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'd say like a Wario Land would be really cool to see.
yeah, a Wario Land game would definitely make a lot of sense, or even a remake of one of the other Wario Land games.
I'd say like a Wario Land Shake It remaster or
Yeah,
remake or something like that would be amazing. Like Wario Land Shake It More or something.
yeah,
Like,
or
you know.
alternatively, they could do a remake of the older Wario Land games in the style of Shake It.
Yeah,
I think that would be
something
cool
like that would
too.
be cool.
But yeah, I
Hmm.
feel like something from Goodfeel, maybe even that new game that they're developing could be announced. I feel like
Yeah.
something because
Or how about a remake of their yeah, they made this amazing game in for the Nintendo DS called Training Words. What do you think about a remake of that game? Sounds amazing, doesn't it?
yeah, um, or Sense Training Shape Space.
Ah, yes, yeah. I think that's a good contender for a game of the year if they do a nice like remaster or remake. You could always get the shapes in Smash Bros in the future.
Yeah,
We gotta get that franchise, up there.
but yeah, something from Goodfeel, or another thing is something from Grezzo. Like, yeah, I feel like a Grezzo game would definitely be possible for this year.
Yeah, I think Grezzo has a ton of potential to make so many different things. Last game was Miitopia, which was a sort of remaster with some new features. With Miitopia, they did a great job. So I'd say like either they do a remaster of Miitopia, since they have worked on in our remaster Tomodachi Life. Sometimes I mix up the two. Yeah, so I think a remaster of Tomodachi Life would be amazing, since they have all the resources and the Miis and everything from Miitopia. Why not
Yeah.
just bring that stuff into a new Tomodachi Life game? I think that's extremely likely to see.
Yeah,
I think the Switch is
yeah.
it's due for a game like that, and a game in that style would do pretty well. And I think Nintendo probably seen how much people enjoyed the Mii creation tool. So if they can just integrate that into a new Tomodachi Life game, I think that'd be amazing. So it'd be
Yeah,
really cool to see that.
and I
Or
think
also,
another thing we could see is like a new remake of something. Like I know a remake of the Oracle games is definitely
yeah,
possible. But yeah, or a remake in general from Grezzo is
I'd say
definitely
like a
possible.
Golden Sun remake. That would be pretty cool to
Yeah,
see.
yeah, that would be
Um,
interesting as well.
Even like just remake the both, because I know there's Golden Sun 1 and 2 are basically the same story but in different perspectives. So they could, if they really wanted to, remake both of those games and put them into one like release. That was like
Yeah.
Golden Sun 1 plus 2 idea, where you got both of them. That would be really neat to see, and I don't know if that would be
That might
I don't
even
think that would be
that might
like,
even
too
be a
crazy.
project that Camelot is doing. 'Cause
Yeah, they could be involved in as well. I feel like if because I'm not sure if Camelot would be able to do it themselves. For like making something like that. I'd say if you have both Grezzo and Camelot working together on a project like that, that'd be really
Yeah.
neat to see. I think it's possible.
Yeah, and the next thing is a new 99 game or another Nintendo Switch Online game. And I think that's
Yeah.
possible as well, since it seems like a lot of the time in the February directs, we get like a drop of something related to Nintendo Switch Online. like some kind of like
Yeah.
incentive game or something um like
Yeah,
we
like
got
we've got
Tetris
Tetris
99.
99. Yeah, and then there was also, well, the Pac-Man thing, wasn't that just a random thing that they just
Yeah, but
showcased
it
on
was
like,
around that time of the year. It was
yeah,
like
around the
early in
time
the year.
frame.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see them announcing some new incentive, new perk of the service. I mean, why not?
Yeah, and
You
it
know,
seems like the new 99 games, not counting Mario 35, it seems like they
rest
have
in
been
peace.
releasing every 2 years. Like we got Tetris 99 in 2019, and then Pac-Man 99 in 2021. So we might be getting something this year, since it seems like they're doing something every 2 years, aside from Mario 35, which was kind of tied in with that was a whole mess on its own. Even though I liked that game, it
Yeah.
was just, I don't know, maybe they'll even do Super Mario Bros. 99 and bring back Mario 35.
Yes, that game was so much fun. Like,
Yeah,
why did they have to get rid of it? Like, that was probably the only one I really played. Because, like, to be honest, Tetris 99 and Pac-Man 99, especially Pac-Man 99, I'm not really a big fan of them. I think Pac-Man 99 is a strange one because it kind of wants you to buy these like DLC packs, and they
yeah,
cost way too much and they don't do much. And the Tetris one is a bit more interesting, but that game is a lot more difficult. And really, with that game, you get so much more content when you buy all the block DLC or get the physical version where you get all this cool stuff. So yeah, I'd say something like that, or even honestly, like a smaller Switch game that you'd just be able to download. Like one that puts to mind is like what if they could just say, oh yeah, you can get snipper clips free, or you could get
yeah.
something like you know, you can
Or
get
even
Box
like,
Boy free,
yeah, or
something
even
like
like,
that.
yeah, or even like Snipper Clips 2 or something like that. Like something like random like that. Like I feel like that's definitely
Yeah,
possible if we
that's a
can get,
possibility.
yeah, and then
Snipper clips 99. 99 snipper clips, and the last one standing wins.
yeah, but yeah, so the next thing is kind of related to the Nintendo Switch Online thing, but basically another DLC incentive for the expansion pack, and I think they would do a new DLC for an existing game, not necessarily an older game, but like an existing game. One thing that I have in mind, I feel like I'm just saying it's somewhat likely in general that we'll get new DLC, but one thing that I have in mind, I'm not sure if it's very likely or not, but it's Mario Party
Nintendo Labo
Superstars.
DLC. Oh.
But Mario Party Superstars, I mean, the thing with that game, kind of like Animal Crossing New Horizons, how Animal Crossing New Horizons didn't get anything for quite a while before that DLC happened. So I know a lot of people are saying that it's like a lost cause at this point, that DLC will happen for that
Yeah,
game. But
it's unfortunate,
but
but
considering the fact that the expansion pack exists and everything, and the fact that Nintendo has been like weirdly releasing DLC well after like certain games have launched, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Animal Crossing New Horizons, over a year and a half after they released, they got DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It was like 5 years almost. So
you know what? Like, I could see another thing from NT Cube, because the last game was Mario Party Superstars, and if you remember, a similar thing happened where they released Clubhouse games. Remember, they
yeah,
released that afterwards, so they could make a new Clubhouse games, like
yeah, they
like
could do
a
that, or
a new game in the series, or something new like that, because Clubhouse Games was very successful for Nintendo. And it's an awesome collection. Like, I highly recommend it. It's so much fun.
yeah,
So
I
what if
really
they
like
did
that
something
too.
like that? You know, like another thing like that. Like maybe we have a bunch of new board games and
Or
or
or a really good
something.
idea.
Animal Crossing,
Switch part
Amiibo
hey,
Festival.
Switch Party. Get this, the Sportsmates.
Ah, yes. And it plays like Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. But I think that's a great game, you know, and you know, it would be such a great game. I'm so excited for that. Oh no. Don't give them any ideas.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
but something from ND Cube would be really cool to
yeah,
see.
I think there is a slight, if they're gonna do a new DLC incentive, I think Superstars DLC. I mean, I did think it was a lost cause for quite a while, but considering the fact that they like to push the DLC and it's been a while since they've done a
Yeah, and they
DLC pack.
updated Super Mario Party, remember?
Yeah,
With online play, like all of a sudden they're like, "Hey
yeah.
guys, online play for this game that you played like, well, at that point it was like
Or
2-3 years,
the
right?"
other thing is, kind of going on a different note here, is the Splatoon 3 DLC. That's another possibility.
Yeah, that is actually really possible because remember that they did something similar in 2018, right?
Yeah.
After before the Smash Bros. Reveal, they did the Octo expansion reveal. So maybe that's possible because I could see that they probably want to push the game a little bit more, and it'd be a similar time frame. So honestly, why not? Or even an update, just talking about the game.
Yeah.
You know, just like some new features that are, you know, on the horizon for it. So yeah, it'd be really neat to see that.
Yeah. So another thing, speaking of sports mates, a Nintendo Switch Sports update. I'm sure the meats will be
Yay.
excited about this.
Yeah, now we're adding golf, but it's frisbee golf, and it has the same courses, and yeah, it's the same game, but now with
No,
frisbees.
they're gonna add ping pong or table tennis.
Yeah, but they're gonna make it worse, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be like a literal table.
So you know
And
how most of the games are like tennis clones in Nintendo Switch
yeah,
Sports? Yeah, it would
a
just
lot of
make
the
sense.
things are very similar. Like it seems that the games that are like very different are the ones that like they took them a while to make. But what I don't understand with this game is how come it took Nintendo just a few years to make Wii Sports Resort? And then they were working with new technology. They literally made the Wii Motion Plus with new technology, and they built a game with 12 mini games from a game that they had like what 5
Yeah.
mini games. Like I don't know what's going on there, but the fact they were able to make a product as substantial as Wii Sports Resort, like that's
Yeah, and this time
questionable.
this time instead of developing a whole new technology or controller for the Switch, they just throw in the leg strap from Ring Fit Adventure and
Yeah,
call
yeah,
it a
yeah.
day.
It's so different and original. And the thing is, if you bought launch, you can't even use it. So
Yeah.
it's an excitement factor. You know, it's an excitement factor. They want to make sure that eventually you can use this feature. You know, there's a 99% chance that it will become usable. There's the 1% chance that Nintendo might just give them the game, and then you know you would have been stuck with a leg strap. But luckily they did patch it to have the functionality. And yeah, it's amazing. They've done such a great job with that game, haven't they?
Yeah. I'm sure
Yeah,
the Beats
yeah.
will be pretty excited about the new update. Probably dedicate another full day, like leg strap day or something like that. But
Yeah, we need another leg strap day again. We need another one. Maybe like the maybe they add like a karate mode where it
yeah.
has like the leg strap functionality, but like they encourage you to be like and you have to like hit your other Nintendo consoles, and that's kind of the idea. You know, and like that would be a really good way for them to be like, oh yeah, you know, you can't play your other systems anymore.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of
Yeah.
teach you that,
They
right?
have to keep hitting. You have to keep hitting your wallet so the money goes directly out of
Yeah,
your pocket
yeah, yeah,
instead of
yeah.
the wallet to Nintendo.
Or you know, they add like a credit card simulator into the game as well. I think that would be a great
Yeah,
addition.
a
You
new
know,
sport, spending spree.
yeah,
You just go
yeah,
around on a shopping
exactly.
cart and you put in your actual credit card information and go.
Yeah, I think that'd make the game a lot better, more
But
enjoyable. You
yeah,
know.
so moving on, another thing that was rumored recently from Monolith Soft is a remake of one of their first like Nintendo exclusives, and that is Baten Kaitos. And I heard that game is pretty interesting. Like I know a lot of the GameCube or PS2 era RPGs are pretty interesting, and I saw that that game kind of has a unique battle system. It kind of has like this card system, which I think is pretty interesting. And I feel like it would be interesting if it was kind of updated in HD and everything, and kind of used like the Xenoblade engine to kind of make it feel more modern and more accessible on the Switch and everything.
Yeah, I would like to be. I would like to check out that game. It seems pretty cool. I looked up online to see how the game looks, and it seems pretty neat, and I would be open for them to do something like that. And considering, that'd be like Bandai Namco as well, right? Because aren't they the one who published it?
Yeah. And I feel like,
So yeah,
yeah, I feel like Bandai Namco works pretty closely with Nintendo
yeah,
on a lot of projects. So I feel like I feel like it will be published by
yeah. I
Nintendo
think so
still.
too.
Um,
Because look at what happened with well, it wasn't published, but wasn't there a recent Fatal Frame game that was also ported, and it's kind of to me it's like a similar situation where it's like a Nintendo exclusive
yeah.
that was published
If
by
it
Bandai
does,
Namco.
yeah, if
So
it does happen, I think it will probably be published by Nintendo. It will just be licensed by Bandai Namco, kind of like some games, and then developed by Monolith Soft. So yeah, I think
yeah,
that is likely, somewhat likely, because there were a lot of rumors surrounding it, and I think Monolith Soft works on a lot of projects, and it kind of makes sense that they would do something like that as well. So
hmm
another thing, that you mentioned earlier, but when we were kind of starting the brainstorm for ideas for what could possibly be in this direct, and basically, Pocket Card Jockey was recently ported to the Apple Arcade, and that was a 3DS game by Game Freak.
yeah.
So there's a possibility that that could actually be ported to the Switch.
Yeah, I think Game Freak's done a lot of these smaller games, and that's a game that people really like from the 3DS. They've done Little Town Hero as well, so Game Freak isn't foreign to publishing games themselves. So I could see a new Pocket Card Jockey game, the new one, getting ported to the Switch as well. I mean, why not? I guess the thing really comes down to if the game has a time exclusivity with Apple Arcade, which I'm not sure. But if it doesn't, I could 100% see a Pocket Card Jockey Ride-On on the Switch. I think it'd be a great game to check out. And yeah, I've been interested in checking out the game, and I think
Yeah,
it'd
I
probably be the best version of it.
think it looks interesting, but yeah, moving on to our final section, which only has a few different games here because they're kind of less specific, except for like a couple that basically these are the ones that still have a chance, like a slight chance, but I don't think they're very likely. Like they could, I feel like one of these could possibly show up, because there
hmm
definitely is like some chance for some of these to happen, but I don't think they're that likely. And the first one is the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Story DLC, and that would likely be revealed alongside the Wave 3 if that happened. And the reason that why I think this has a slight chance is because Nintendo isn't doing E3 this year. So I think there's a possibility that we could get like a teaser for it, but I don't think it's very likely because I feel like that's probably going to be later this year.
Yeah, I think by the time we see that, it's gonna be a while from now. Similar to what they did with Torna, where they reveal it at, like towards the middle of the year. I mean, that could even be like a separate, some sort of separate video or something like
Yeah, or
that.
a Twitter
Um,
drop.
yeah, because to me, one thing I'm really hoping that they'll do is, well, I really want them to do some kind of, um, I think it'd be neat if they did like a physical edition for the DLC, like they
Yeah.
did with Torna, because it's just really cool to have something like that. So I can see them announcing it at the same time. Um, so yeah, I like to see that. That'd be really cool. I mean, who even really knows what their
Yeah.
plans are? But I think seeing the story DLC would be amazing. But I would count that maybe towards the end of the or towards the middle of the year, as I think it's a bit too early right now.
Also, I wanted to kind of add on from the Wave 3 thing from earlier, one thing that I forgot to mention, one thing that I really want to see in the game at some point. Please, Monolith Soft, add N and M outfits for Noah and Mio in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I've been dying for those
Yeah.
outfits.
There's also a few other like small changes I'd like to see. Like I think one of them was with like the music for. I know a lot of people wanted to see it like for the chain attack music. You can like change it so that way it doesn't
Yeah.
actually play because I'm just kind of annoying and
Yeah,
it
that would be a
disrupts
good
like the
feature.
feeling. There's also a few other small ones that I just had while playing, that I can't remember at the top of my head, but there are just a few here and there that you're like, oh, can't they just fix this? Like, I'd like to see all the heroes be playable, because apparently they can technically be playable. Like, I've seen like videos about people actually trying to do it,
Yeah.
and
Or add
it'd be really
actually
neat.
I'm not sure if this is a spoiler, but I'll just say a certain character should be added back as a hero. I think that would be
Yeah. It's a
yeah,
certain
that certain
character. I
character that
know.
begins with M. And there's been a
Yeah.
lot of memes surrounding that character. Because yeah, so he ends up
Yeah, give him
surviving
his
at the
actual
end.
time, give him his time. He needs it,
Yeah, but yeah, he ends up surviving at the end, and he was a party member. I think it was either a party member or a hero. Towards another part of the game. So I think it would be cool to
Mhm.
see him actually return as a hero. But we'll see. But the next thing is Mario Baseball. So yeah.
Here we
Yeah,
go again.
there's been some rumors about this lately, and I've been kind of hoping that this won't happen. Due to the fact that Battle League was pretty lackluster. I mean, I liked Battle League at first, but my opinions kind of changed on the game when the updates released and everything, and then we basically found out that's all we were getting, just a few extra characters, so
Yeah, they didn't do that game properly, which is pretty unfortunate. I think they should have done it like
yeah.
in a lot more respectable way to, to the franchise and everything. I don't know why they
Yeah.
decided to do it like that, but
And with the Mario
yeah.
Baseball game, like, even though it's rumored and it probably will be developed by Bandai Namco and Now Productions, even though those developers have a very good track record, like, especially with Nintendo and everything, so did Next Level Games. Like, Next Level Games
Yeah.
also was a pretty trusted developer, aside from Federation Force. Like, all of their other games
Yeah.
were pretty good, like Punch-Out, the older Mario Strikers games, the other Luigi's Mansion games. They had a pretty good track record. Bandai Namco and Now Productions have a pretty good track record, especially like looking at the games they developed for Nintendo. And then even like Now Productions' recent games, like Pac-Man World Repack, that was really good. So I feel like
Yeah.
even if they put a lot of effort and polish into this game, like how Next Level Games did with Battle League, I feel like Battle League, Nintendo could just restrict it to the point where there's not much content in the game and it trickles out into basically drip feed for like these characters that they're adding and everything. And it's pretty concerning because I feel like there was a pretty high bar set for the last Mario Baseball game.
Mhm.
Many people consider that to be the best Mario sports game, even more so than Mario Strikers Charged. So I feel like that game, if this is gonna happen, it has a lot of pressure under it. Like, there's a lot of things that this game will have to live up to, and it probably,
Yeah.
realistically, it probably won't live up to those expectations. I feel like the most we could hope for, if this ends up happening, is something a little better than Aces. I feel like that's the most realistic and decent thing that can happen for this game. Because with Aces, I know I had a lot of problems with the game. The thing with Aces is that it had a decent roster and a decent amount of content after the updates rolled out. So that's just kind of, I feel like that's a little more than that is a realistic expectation. And the thing is, in general, I feel like Mario Baseball, I put it in a slight chance. I don't really think it's likely for this year, because the past couple years, we got Mario Strikers Battle League and Mario Golf Super Rush. I don't think Nintendo's gonna do another Mario sports game for the third year in a row. That seems kind of like, it seems like they're doing a little too much if they're gonna do that.
Yeah. I do think it's quite a bit. Although the time to release that game would be probably, towards the beginning of summer, like they always do. They would kind
Yeah.
of do like the 25th around there. I've kind of noticed always an occurring pattern.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I
If
think
it,
though it is likely to see like a sports
if
Mario
it,
game or
yeah,
something.
if I would say maybe next year. It might be something even with the next Nintendo console. They might do something early on. Kind of like how Mario Tennis Aces. I feel like the next Mario Baseball might be kind of like I know this isn't really a direct prediction, kind of like my own speculation here. I feel like if Mario Baseball doesn't happen this year, and I feel like there's a very slight chance of it happening this year due to like the due to the fact that there's been 2 years in a row with Mario sports games. I feel like it could probably be on the next Nintendo console. It will be like kind of like how Aces was in like an early Mario sports title.
Yeah, I could see that too. Um,
And
yeah, I mean, he already knows they've done most of the those types of games, right? So
yeah, and next up, another thing relating to Mario is a new 3D Mario game. And if this happens, I feel like it's either gonna be a 2D Mario game or a 3D Mario game. A 2D game is more likely, because I feel like a 3D game might
mhm.
be they might be saving that for the next Nintendo console. But if they're doing something related to Odyssey 2 or a sequel to Odyssey, I feel like that might happen. Like, I think there's still a slight chance of that happening. Like, I think there was, a survey, or not a survey, but like an email recently that sent out, like, the replay Odyssey, or, because there might be more to discover, or, something like that. And I feel like they might be. And then there's also all the Odyssey references in the movie and everything. So I think there is a slight chance that we could be getting like a 3D Mario game, like an Odyssey
Yeah,
2 or something like that.
I think it's probably like the last chance for something like that because
Yeah.
at this point, I think the next system is a lot closer than we think. To be honest, just kind of looking at the entire schedule of Nintendo, like the Mario Kart stuff is ending. A lot of the stuff they're releasing, except for Zelda, isn't really a major, and they're not really trying to push. I noticed kind of like they're not doing it as big marketing push as they would normally, right? Or like they would have done a few years back. So yeah, I think having a 2D Mario though would be the perfect answer for them. Giving a new Mario game, but not going all out.
Yeah.
Although I hope it isn't New Super Mario Bros. 3, and that it actually is quite interesting, or like New Super Mario Bros. Y, or
Yeah. The
like come on.
only timeline I would accept New Super Mario Bros. 3 is if somehow Nintendo decided to call the next 2D Mario game that, just from the title alone and nothing else.
Yeah.
Just like a new original game, but they just call it New Super Mario Bros. 3 for some weird reason. That's always a possibility. Nintendo does like to do weird things like that sometimes, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But another game that I think has a slight chance, but is kind of unlikely. I do think this will happen at some point, though I don't think it will be announced in this direct. And that's a new Donkey Kong game. And yeah, with the new Donkey Kong game, Nintendo has been pushing Donkey Kong a lot. Like the theme park, Donkey Kong's presence in the movie. So, and then even that, I'm not sure if it was like rumored or announced, but like that Donkey Kong movie that I've heard about. So I feel like,
hmm
yeah, with Donkey Kong, there's a slight chance, but I don't think it's gonna happen until next year, or like on the next Nintendo console for the new Donkey Kong game.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of these big games, Nintendo's gonna be saving them. Like I think the next Mario Kart, they're saving it, right? Even maybe like Luigi mentioned 4, they'll probably save it for the next console.
Yeah.
That's what I could see happening
Mario
right now.
Strikers Ultra League.
Yeah. To me, I don't know why they did Splatoon 3. That's to me the only thing that's kind of strange. Like
Yeah.
that should have been saved for the next console, and you could have added a few more features to it. So I don't know what's going on there.
I feel like
but...
Splatoon 3 and some of the weird releases that Nintendo has been doing lately, I feel like that's a discussion for another video about Nintendo's next console.
Like,
but
what about the next Pokemon generation? That has to be for the next system, right? And when would that be?
yeah,
It's just kind of interesting to look in the future of like what's gonna what is Nintendo really planning with the bigger picture
Okay.
here?
But one final prediction, the most important one of all, push mode. We need a new
Yes.
push mode. It's been quite a while. We need it. We need
It's
it.
like stretch mode and like
We need
there's
switch
a
mode.
crash mode, right?
Yeah, we need
Yeah, there's
switch mode.
those. Maybe like a collection of all of those, because I know they're all gonna be you know,
That might even
lost unless
be,
you have a modern
yeah,
3DS.
That might even be what Rezo is currently doing right now. They might be. I mean, that's kind of like a very like speculative thing to say, but I feel like, yeah, I wonder if Grezzo is actually doing like a Pushmo collection or something like that. Because Intelligent Systems, they developed the Pushmo series. They recently did Fire Emblem Engage and everything. So I'm not, well, Pushmo, they don't have to be that big. Like, it might just be a smaller eShop release, so it still could be Intelligent Systems. But yeah, I think it would be cool to see a new Pushmo game. It's been quite a while. So yeah, those are our predictions. Definitely looking forward to the Direct and everything. So
Yeah, honestly, like, I'm gonna keep my expectations low. I'm gonna go into it low because I don't know, Nintendo hasn't really impressed me lately with a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, there've been some really good games, but then some of them I've just been like, you know, like Splatoon 3. It's good, but it hasn't been something that I've been like actively like so excited for. So, you know, I'm just hoping for something like, wow, I can't wait for that. Like, you know, I want that kind of feeling again to be like, this game I'm really excited for. Because a lot of the stuff we've been seeing lately is just like, oh, that's cool. But I'm you know, I'm not super excited. I'll probably get it, but I want something that really just you know, is really cool to see. Something unique, something maybe different too. So yeah, that's
maybe it will be like last
for.
time, and we'll get all farming simulators.
Oh yeah, maybe this time it will be like like I heard on the Demetrius stream you talked about, like, you know, different kinds. Like we could see dating simulators. We could see
you know,
we could see lawn mowing simulators.
We could see Super Mario farming.
Exactly. We could see walking simulators, and they're just kind of like all walking simulators, but like all at the same speed of walking and no running.
We'll have a Nintendo Direct with all, like, let's have, like, a Nintendo Direct with, like, let's see, like, all, shovelware licensed games. Like, I mean, not the good licensed games, but, like,
what's it called? Like, remember the 2021 Direct was kind of weird where they did, like,
the DC
superhero girls? Yeah, that was just, like, for such a long time, and, like, I remember watching it, and I was just like, when is this gonna end? This is such a long time. And then, you know, I can't wait to see that, like, weird cringy moment of the Direct that's just like, what is going on? Just like that, like, random, remember the Knockout City thing where it's like the random characters?
Yeah, that was so weird, yeah.
That was such a terrible ad because the game's actually pretty cool, but they marketed it in the worst way where people don't actually know what the game was. Like, instead of saying, oh, hey guys, this is a really cool you know, action game and talking about it, instead they're like, we need to do this elaborate thing. So hopefully we don't see that, and if we do, you know what, that's some meme material, I guess. So
but yeah, so anyways, let us know down in the comments what predictions you have for the Nintendo Direct. And yeah, so anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to subscribe to Anton Retro as well. And make sure to check out my Discord server if you want to. Goodbye.
see ya.